You are the pioneers, with your visions, your ideas, and your passion to make things better. And we are the ones who protect you from pitfalls. We are by your side whenever needed as a true fellow. Reliable, pragmatic, realistic. Together we make your product come alive. Imagine you enjoy improvement. Process Fellows.
A warm welcome to everybody, to all participants for today's webinar. My name is Sebastian Keller and I will introduce the webinar for you today, and I will be your moderator today. Today, Bernhard Sechser will tell you something about Automotive SPICE 4.0 and the new intacs training concept. So as I think the most of you know, the new trainings already started with the upgrade training, and there are some upcoming new trainings, I think in October. So let's talk, Bernhard, what's changed in the ASPICE 4.0 and what will change in future. For all who don't know the process fellows for our company, our portfolio is in the core about ASPICE, but some topic that's around ASPICE. As I mentioned, Automotive SPICE is one of the core topics from us, but there are some additional topics like mechanical SPICE, functional safety, organizational changes, and different solutions for this, like Scrum, SAFe, supporting in ALM tools, security, of course, it's a new topic and a bigger topic in the last days, project management, and so on. So that would be our portfolio, and the services we deliver to our customers are, as I mentioned, in core for Automotive SPICE. So it's assessments. All of our staff members are at least provisional assessors. The most of them are competent or principal assessors. So we can perform assessments for ASPICE and additional concepts like mechanical SPICE, like SPICE for cybersecurity, and provide this to the customers. Another point is the consulting and coaching. So we try to help you, help the companies and improve the projects, improve the processes by consulting on the one side for improvement processes, for example, or by coaching, for example, coaching for employees, for trainees on the job. So we try to help you in improving yourself. And the last point, it's about the topic today, especially is the part of the trainings. So one part of the trainings are the intacs trainings for assessors, but that's not only the intacs trainings, it's all about safety, security, and about ASPICE, of course. So as you've seen on the first slide already, there are some upcoming trainings. If you're interested in some trainings, just go to our website. You will find the link to the training, and you will find the dates there. Some organizational topics. Please stay muted while Bernhard is in the presentation mode. We will we will answer your questions later on. If you got some questions while the presentation's running, just use the Q&A function on Teams. In German, it's F&A, Fragen und Antworten. In English, it's questions and answers. If there's a question that fits in the presentation, maybe I will disturb Bernhard and place it in this part. If not, we will discuss them at the end of the presentation. The webinar is recorded. I've already started the records, so it will be accessible on YouTube and our website later on. The same is for the slides. They will be on our website for download as soon as we've finished it and as soon as we've converted it to the PDF. So you will get a note or an email if you've been registered that it's available. The last but not least point is about the trainer. So as I mentioned, the presentation will be held by Bernhard Sechser today. He's Automotive SPICE principal assessor and instructor on competent level. So he is one of the trainers for the, let's say, intacs trainings we are talking about today. He is expert in project management, process improvement, Automotive SPICE, and functional safety. He's working there for a long time, and he has very deep expertise on these topics. One of the interesting points is he is intacs founding member and is in the intacs advisory board, and he is a part of the responsible for the intacs internationalization. So he has a deep knowledge of intacs and the intacs structures he will tell us about today. Also, he's VW certified squill, and he's keynote speaker on different conferences in Germany, China, and all over the world. Yeah, thank you for participating today. And now I think I will go on, and Bernhard, you can start the presentation.
Okay, thank you very much, Sebastian, for your introduction. Let me quickly share my screen. So I hope it is visible now.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine? Okay, good. Great. Okay. Good. Yeah, as announced, I have the pleasure today to present you the latest news and the current structure of the new intacs assessor trainings. Probably most of you know the current structure with the provisional and competence assessor training. Quite simple. But with Automotive SPICE 4.0 and also with other assessment models, intacs had and still has the challenge to decide and to define how to integrate all these other models and all the updates and modifications into the assessor education structure. And this new structure I will show today was already presented, I think 2 times, also in the previous 2 years, during different conferences, mainly the VDA Automotive SPICE conference organized by VDA QMC, the certification body for Automotive SPICE. But there were a lot of changes in the meantime, and the trainings are not updated and finished yet. This is still ongoing. So we are on the last mile, let's say, because from October this year on, this new training structure will become the only one that is allowed to be offered by the known training providers, and the old trainings with the old structure will not exist anymore. Okay, but let's have a look what I would like to present today. 4 different topics. So first of all, I would like to show you the new idea of the new 3 levels qualification for assessors. Not the 2 levels anymore, but there will be 3 different kind of trainings with different kind of qualification criteria. Then I will show you the new training architecture that does not only include the provisional and competent assessor training anymore, but also additional trainings for the different assessment models and for the different extensions to these assessment models. The third topic will be, beside the assessor education, also some rules, some challenges and requirements for those assessors who have or would like to observe new assessor candidates. This is a topic that is very often not deeply discussed, and also the current criteria are not very strict, but there's a need in the meantime that we take care that new assessors and new instructors are observed by really experienced assessors and instructors, just to avoid that just some freshly baked competent assessor do observations for other new candidates without having the chance to collect a lot of experiences. This is a current discussion, an ongoing discussion. I would like to present you the latest status here. And the last part will show you the current intacs roadmap, dealing with all the intacs trainings, what is already available, what will be available in the near future. Okay. Let's start with this idea of the 3 levels qualification. Let's have a brief look again to the Automotive SPICE model. Yeah, so this is the old structure of Automotive SPICE 3.1 with the well-known groups for systems and software engineering. Yeah, also project management is, I think, well known as a part of nearly each assessment scope. We have several supporting processes, and besides these 4 groups, we have also other 4 groups: supply process, reuse process, improvement process group, where typically very seldom some processes will be selected for assessments. Some OEMs maybe select a product release, others maybe select risk management from the management process group. And also the acquisition process group is typically only used if there are sub-suppliers in a project where then ACQ4, the supplier monitoring, will be assessed. These groups still exist in the new version of Automotive SPICE 4.0, system and software. We have supporting, we have management. Also these smaller groups, improvement, reuse, and supply, and even the acquisition process group still exists. But you see, with a reduced set of processes, especially the acquisition process group. Only supplier monitoring is left. Some other processes are skipped from the new version because they were not often assessed. And therefore, the working group that is working on the Automotive SPICE decided to skip them in order to have some more room, let's say, for additional new process areas, new process groups, like the hardware engineering process with 4 additional processes, the machine learning engineering process group, another 4 processes, plus 1 supporting process that belongs to it, and the validation process group, with only 1 process, but also a very important one. Plus, of course, a lot of changes, conceptual changes on all the levels of indicators of all the levels on the first 3 levels that I will not explain in detail today. Probably you already attended some webinars or some other sessions where the differences between the 2 structures were presented. Today, I would like to focus more on the training behind this new version of Automotive SPICE and what is the current solution to integrate all these changes and new process groups into the training material. Because you can imagine that it's hard to add these 3 new groups to the already existing ones without extending the trainings to a second week, let's say, because 5 days is probably not sufficient anymore to talk about all these processes. That the current structure looks like that. Here for Automotive SPICE, you see it on the left side. Typically, you only have to visit 2 trainings: the provisional assessor training to become a provisional assessor that is allowed to act as a co-assessor in official assessments. This is currently a 5-day training with an exam. And the second part is a competent assessor training, another 5 days training with an exam, where the process model content is used for some role plays, but with a focus on leading assessment. So more the assessment process is in the focus of the competent assessor training, where for the provisional assessor training, more the assessment model is in the focus and the basic skills of an assessor to be able to act as a co-assessor. In automotive, we have the special situation there is also an assessor's guideline that was published in 2017, 7 years ago, by the VDA, with hints, rules, and recommendations for performing and rating an assessment. And because at that point in time, there was no update plan for the existing trainings, intacs and VDA decided to define an additional training that is mainly dealing with the understanding and the usage of the guideline, not with the whole content of it. But it was defined that lead assessors, so our intacs competent assessors, have to know the content of the guideline, and therefore it was an additional requirement for becoming a competent assessor. That's why it's shown here as competent assessor training plus the today's guideline training in order to become a competent assessor. And competent assessors and above who already had this qualification had to visit this guideline training in order to maintain this qualification. for all other models. Yeah, so the structure did not only exist for Automotive SPICE, but also for models like the very first one, the 15544 Part 5, the software lifecycle model. That was also the basis for Automotive SPICE. We have since many years the test SPICE model. For IT services, there's a PAM existing together with the training that is mainly used, as far as I know, by Volkswagen. Maybe also other OEMs and suppliers use it, and some more models. But the model that is used most is, of course, Automotive SPICE. The only difference is here that this guideline course only exists for Automotive SPICE, but not for the other parts. And all assessors, as part of an assessment team, need a training and a certification for a specific PAM in order to perform official assessments with it. So for an Automotive SPICE assessment, the lead assessor and all co-assessors must have an assessor qualification. So the lead assessor minimum must be a minimum for competent assessor, and all co-assessors must be at minimum provisional assessors. Simple rule, simple to understand. Just visit the training, pass the exam, and register at VDA QMC. Now our challenges with the latest updates. So for each individual PAM, intacs has to develop and maintain an assessor training material individually. So there is no combination currently possible because the training material is not structured in a way that you can just assemble it somehow based on the used PAM, based on the assessor certification level, and so on. Currently, these are separated training materials. And with any update, the training material must be updated, all the training material. So all the model changes must be integrated in all trainings. Means a lot of effort for the members of these intacs working groups. As you have seen, the existing PAM guidelines, currently only for Automotive SPICE, are trained separately. But typically, this makes no sense because the guideline is dealing with the same processes as the PAM itself. And the assessors should know the guidelines for these processes. In the previous years, when the lead assessor is talking to the sponsor, typically the question was asked, dear sponsor, do you want to perform an assessment with or without the Automotive SPICE guideline? In the meantime, this kind of question makes no sense because most of the lead assessors know the guideline, they are using the guideline, respecting the rules, respecting the content information. And in the meantime, it even does not mean that an assessor has to spend a lot of more time just to ensure that the guideline content is respected. So this is already the first change, that the guidelines will not be separated anymore. And this is also then influencing the assessment scope, the assessment definition, that for Automotive SPICE 4.0 assessments, the guidelines will always be respected and evaluated. This is not a sponsor decision anymore. The sponsor, of course, can decide which PAM will be used, but if Automotive SPICE 4.0 is selected, then the assessors have to use the guideline version 2.0. Therefore, the separation of the training makes no sense anymore. In the meantime, we have a lot of extensions of assessment models. We have an HR SPICE model, we have the mechanical engineering, and several other models. In Automotive SPICE 4.0, we have also implicitly some extensions, the hardware part, the machine learning part, and so on. And if you would like to train all the participants of the provisional and competent assessor training, all the parts that belong to one assessment model, 1 week is not sufficient anymore. No chance to talk and perform some exercises on all these process groups. A consequence would be to have a 2-week training, which is even more exhausting than this already 5-day training with a lot of stuff in it. We have no systematic integration of these extensions trainings yet. Some of the trainings already exist, but it's not visualized in our training structure. Which training must be visited first, or is it possible to visit an extension training without a provisional assessor training? This is not defined yet. But this is also defined now in the new structure. And also a very important topic and challenge currently, and this was always the case, only assessors are addressed by the intacs trainings. If somebody wants to become familiar with the PAM itself, so either this candidate visits the provisional assessor training, where the PAM content is also shown and discussed, or this person is just registering at any training provider that is offering Automotive SPICE trainings in general. 2-day trainings, 3-day trainings, 1-day training, whatever, where only the PAM is shown and explained. But this is also now a task we would like to solve from intacs point of view, that also experts, people who want to use the model internally, have a chance to attend official intacs trainings and also have a chance to get a certificate for it. So the new training structure will be this 3-level structure, a 3 levels qualification, where we will have now a process expert level, a provisional assessor level, and a competent assessor level. The competent assessor level is more or less the same, let's say. Of course, the changes in the assessment model itself will be reflected, of course, but the main change is in the provisional assessor training, because the old 5-day training, that consisted of the PAM content and the provisional assessor content is now splitted. So all the PAM content, the Automotive SPICE model itself, will be shown in the expert training together with all the guideline aspects regarding the content. So for example, how shall system requirements look like? Which kind of attributes are expected for well-defined system requirements? Or what is expected if a review is asked on level 2? All these content aspects will be integrated into the expert training. And with this as a basis, we have a chance to visit this additional provisional assessor training with all the assessor skills, plus, of course, some updates of the Automotive SPICE model, if there are any. But we can focus on the assessor skills here. And you see, overall, it's now 8 days you have to visit in order to become a provisional assessor, but you already know the guideline content, these 2 extra days. And you have a much better chance to differ between the content of the assessment model itself, with more time to ask or discuss content questions. And we have a chance to repeat the most important topics of the PAM model, plus more time to train potential provisional assessors in assessor skills. From a training point of view, didactical point of view, this is much better, because, let's say only 4 days, not a complete week. It's not the same stressful training as before. You have a chance to collect experience in between, and you can decide if you really need it to become a provisional assessor or if it's sufficient to use the knowledge in your projects, as a quality assurance responsible, for example, as a process owner, for example, and so on. And we already have the feedback and the requests from the community that these kind of trainings are expected. VDA QMC itself showed a statistic last year, or even this year, that only 30% of the participants of the old provisional assessor training really do the certification as provisional assessor. The other 70%, only want to become familiar with the assessment model itself. They never apply for the provisional assessor status. And these are potentially the candidates that will only visit the expert training. They spare 1 day, because they don't need the assessor status, but they have a better chance to become familiar with the content of the PAM. And only the rest, the 30%, continue with the provisional assessor training. Where also, I forgot to mention this, where also the rating rules will be explained, the rating rules of the guideline, because the rating is for the assessors only. Okay, and we already have and we will have so-called model extensions. So the hardware and the machine learning part, for example, these new process groups, there is no chance to integrate these two aspects completely in the expert training for Automotive SPICE. Therefore, we decided to develop two separated trainings that can be visited by assessors, assessors who plan to assess hardware engineering processes or machine learning engineering processes. They are not mandatory for the assessors. Only if an assessor wants to perform official assessments with these extensions, they have to visit such an extension training before. For the other assessors, it's the only mandatory part is to be familiar with system and software engineering as before, and not more. Let's have a more detailed look on the new trainings, just the most important information. Though, as already explained, for the expert level, the objectives are to become familiar with all the details of the Automotive SPICE 4.0 itself. The VDA Automotive SPICE guideline version 2 is integrated regarding the content information. And another important aspect will be new here is that process improvement is now integrated with a separate module. It's a 2 hours module to become familiar with this process of how to improve the processes of my organization and how to implement it in my projects. That's also beneficial for the proper preparation of the people involved in development projects. Not only to prepare them for assessments, but to prepare them to understand the process and to use it in the projects. And this is currently completely missing in the training. Currently, intacs is only focusing on assessors, but not on users, let's say, people who have to understand everything. And our expectation is, from intacs point of view, that these process experts play the same important role for the organization regarding process improvement, so the first part of SPICE, as assessors played already today for the capability determination, the second part of SPICE. So SPICE trainings currently only deal with the second part, how to train assessors for the capability determination. Process improvement is completely on the organizations and projects and is not trained today. And this will change. This is a significant part of the new expert training. Okay, therefore, the provisional assessor training will not contain all the details of the PAM anymore. So there's a chance to deepen the knowledge based on some homeworks. Of course, all the guideline is part of it, now with the focus on the rating rules. The knowledge here can be used to perform internal assessments, internal evaluation of projects of your organization. And of course, you are then allowed, after passing the exam, of course, to contribute in official assessments as a co-assessor. So this training is an entry point for becoming an Automotive SPICE assessor by carrying out internal evaluations independently and assisting with official assessments. And the competent assessor training is more or less the same. There's a chance to train advanced assessor skills and understanding of Automotive SPICE. You will be able, hopefully, to apply the guideline in nearly all situations. As always, you cannot foresee all possible situations, of course. But we try to prepare the competent assessors, how to behave in certain situations, in critical situations, and so on. And afterwards, of course, you will be able and allowed to act as a lead assessor in intacs and VDA accepted official assessments. Why do I highlight this aspect? Of course, it's always possible and allowed to perform internal assessments, even without having a competent assessor status. The main difference is that probably your customer will not accept such an assessment, and you cannot collect experience evidences. So assessment logs cannot be filled in and used if you don't have an official competent assessor as a lead assessor in such an assessment. But beside that, of course, internally, you can use any assessment model without a specific education, if you don't use it for any certification. So the competent assessor is then able to become an experienced and responsible lead assessor for Automotive SPICE that understands and guides less experienced people. And just as an example, to complete the Automotive SPICE trainings, the specific extension training for hardware SPICE will deal with the 4 new hardware processes. You will see the details, of course, in the training itself. More or less, the hardware 1 process is similar to all the other requirements processes on system and software level. Hardware 2, the hardware architecture and the hardware detail design is included or is combined in one process area. Maybe this is a very good decision. It should be or could also be a solution for some discussions we currently have with software architectural design and software detail design, but that's another discussion. Then we have the verification against the hardware design and the verification against the hardware requirements. So very similar to SYS 4 and 5, for example, on system level. Machine learning, a very new topic here, is also very interesting, and I can really recommend to visit the upcoming training here. For me, it was very useful to go through this, one of the reviews that already took place. So this model is dealing with how to interpret or how to understand what a machine learning component is doing. So for example, a problem or a requirement must be defined as, for example, the recognition of cars via camera, for example. You have to define and develop a model that is able to solve this problem, typically solved with some kind of neural networks. Then you need a lot of data to train this model. Data by using some video data of cars, for example, with different kind of cars. Probably this picture is quite simple because cars look very similar. In reality, they will not look in the same way. We have different shapes of vehicles, so it's more complicated, of course. But with more and more data, you can train then your model in order to train them in a way that they hopefully can recognize all different types of vehicles. And once you decide that the model is sufficiently trained, you will define a release candidate that will be integrated into your vehicle system. So within your vehicle, nowadays, typically, the model will not change anymore. This is just a candidate. But maybe the company that is developing this model is continuing to train further data with this model or is improving the model itself. So maybe later there will be additional release candidates. And the SPICE model here, machine learning, is exactly dealing with this approach. So machine learning 1 is dealing with requirements analysis of our problem. Machine learning 2 is then dealing with the model itself. How is this designed? Regarding the data, we have this new supporting process, machine learning data management, how to manage the data that is then later used to train the model. The training itself is our MLE3 process, machine learning training. And once we sufficiently train the model, we have this release candidate that will be tested later within the rest of the software, within the system or within the vehicle. Okay, just to give you a brief overview about these 2 extensions, and of course for all the other extensions like shown here again, there will also be trainings for the mechanical SPICE part. For HR SPICE, we have one data management, organization SPICE in the meantime, and probably some more extensions. Cybersecurity is an old one, already exists since 2.5 years, I think, with this additional model that was published by VDA QMC, but it fits perfectly to this new training structure as another extension. Okay, so the new training structure will look like that. So the main path here with these 3 trainings, expert, provisional, and competent. Then at any time after one of these trainings, you can decide to visit an extension training. Why afterwards? Of course, for interested people, it's also possible to visit the hardware SPICE training, for example, without having an expert or provisional assessor training. But you must be aware that these extension trainings do not explain again how an assessment model looks like. Yeah? Especially the capability levels will not explained again. The trainings focus purely on the topic itself. So how does hardware engineering look like? And on the processes on level 1, yeah, with all the base practices. Yeah, that's a focus for all these extension trainings. The capability level model, the rating scale and everything else this will be shown in the expert training. Yeah, so this must be known. So all assessors, yeah, in Automotive SPICE now again, yeah, need an assessor certification for a core PAM to perform official assessments with this PAM. Now, what means core PAM here? Yeah, this is just a term that is defined by intacs to differ between the complete assessment model, Automotive SPICE, and the well-known processes that are dealing with system engineering, software engineering, and yeah, the base processes are project management and our supporting processes, yeah, quality, conflict, problem, and change management. And for hardware and machine learning, yeah, it's not necessary that all assessors have a knowledge about it, yeah, only about this core, yeah, that's an old VDA scope, let's say. Yeah. For the extensions, yeah, at least one assessor, okay, sorry, there's a typo. At least one assessor of the assessment team needs a certification for a model extension, yeah, to perform official assessments with this extension. So this means, yeah, maybe the lead assessor is visiting the hardware SPICE training, yeah, is passing the exam and gets sent a certificate. Yeah, then you can perform an assessment also with co-assessors who have not visited this training. But it's also possible that only one of the co-assessors yeah, has the qualification for the hardware SPICE, not necessarily the lead assessor. Yeah, then it's also allowed to perform an assessment with this extension. Yeah, the reason is that in the end, it's not to have only some perfect lead assessors who have visited everything and have knowledge about everything, because I think this is nearly impossible to have detailed knowledge about all these domains. Yeah, but it's about to assemble the right assessment team, like in a real project. Yeah, the project manager is also not able to perform all activities. Yeah, cannot create all the requirements, the architectural design, perform all tests. Yeah, that's the reason why the project manager has its team. Yeah, testers, developers, requirement engineers, and so on, and they are familiar with these topics. Yeah, and this should be also the same in an assessment team. Nevertheless, the lead assessor has the authority to decide upon the assessment result, of course, yeah, and has to discuss with the co-assessors if the decision is okay and justifiable or not. Okay, some recent challenges with this new training structure. Yeah, let me quickly go back here to the overview. If you sum up now the training days, you will see, okay, 4 + 4 + 5, it's now 13 days of training to become a competent assessor. And we have 3 exams, instead of 2 exams, because the old guideline training was, there was no exam for that. You only had to participate and that's it. So the new challenge is now assessor candidates must attend 3 trainings instead of 2. Yeah, the duration is now 13 days instead of 12, and 3 exams must be passed instead of 2. Okay. Yeah, a little bit more than before. But some stakeholders of intacs had a request. Okay, we still want to be able to train competent assessor with no more effort than before. Okay. How is this possible now? Good. A lot of discussions. In the end, the solution is now that we, as intacs, defined an alternative training path. That again exists only of 2 trainings with 12 days duration and only 2 exams. And we just called it combined lane, as shown here on this slide. On the right side here, this big blue box, dark blue box. It's simply called intacs Certified Process Expert and Provisional Assessor, and includes both trainings here on the left side, the expert and the provisional assessor training. But in the end, it's only 7 days instead of 8, yeah, because the overlap of the two trainings, yeah, of course, will not be shown twice. And there's no real chance to talk about a big homework, yeah, and to exchange experiences, because there is no time for it to collect experience in between. Yeah, therefore we can spare around about 1 day, and we spare a little bit of time for the second exam. But of course, this exam here will be an exam with twice as much questions than the separated ones. Yeah. The only difference is that it's only a one-time exam at the end of the 7 days instead of performing 2 exams, 2 smaller ones. If this is really a better choice, I'm not sure. Personally, I would prefer the standard lane. Yeah, from a trainer's point of view, it's much easier to explain and discuss topics with the participants and having a good chance that the content is still known after the training. Yeah, if you attend such a training for 7 days, with all the information, I think it's really hard to remember everything. It's still hard today with a 5-day training. That's a real tough week. And with 7 days, for sure, it will not become better. So personally, I would recommend the separated ones, even with 1 day more, but having a better chance to discuss and learn everything. For the other models, beside Automotive SPICE, the same structure will be applied. Yeah, you will have expert trainings for the model itself. You will have a provisional assessor training and a competent assessor training. And also a combined lane will be offered, if requested by this community. And as mentioned before, SPICE for IT services is an existing training. For medical SPICE, currently a training is developed. The organizational SPICE model, there will be a training. Test SPICE already exists. And the ISO 32061 is the current version for the software lifecycle assessment model. So 15504 is not valid anymore. The new version here looks different, but is currently also developed, and there will be an update soon here. Okay, with this new expert training, also the certification picture looks different now. We have now 6 levels instead of 5. We have the expert first, then the provisional assessor, the competent assessor, and for all these 3 levels, the trainings will exist. Afterwards, we have a principal assessor status, without any training, only based on knowledge and practices. And we have the 2 instructor levels, where the instructor provisional level is allowed to perform not only the provisional training, but also the expert training. It makes no sense to differ between both because of the combined lane. To define an instructor expert level will not allow such an instructor to perform the combined training. So in the end, we decided that we stick with the current instructor definition, and the provisional instructor is allowed to do both trainings. The updated picture of the certification rules. Maybe you know this picture from the VDA web page. The new stuff in here is, of course, the first row here, the process expert. This is now our first initial certification. You have to visit the expert training and you have to pass the exam, and then you apply for the certificate at VDA QMC. And there is no requirement for renewal beside paying any certification fee. But this is a certification body topic that they want to earn some money for the certification, of course. Currently 450 euros for 3 years. And as far as I know, there will be no change regarding the fee. But maybe in the future. For becoming a provisional assessor, now it's a precondition to be a certified process expert. And then you visit the provisional assessor training as before. Or, of course, you visit the combined lane where you will see both parts in one training, and then you can apply immediately for the provisional assessor level. But just to mention this, there's of course a risk. If you visit the combined training and do not pass the exam, you will neither have the expert level nor the provisional assessor level. Maybe another reason to visit the 2 trainings independent from each other. But just a hint from my side. Okay, and the third change here is that for becoming a competent assessor training, there is no guideline training anymore because the guideline will be integrated into the new training material. And for those who are already competent or provisional assessors, intacs developed an upgrade training that is already available, and the upgrade training will show the most significant changes of Automotive SPICE 4.0 and the guideline. Yeah, so for those of you who plan to become a competent assessor and have not visited the guideline training yet, maybe wait until October, where you only have to visit the upgrade training, yeah, and no guideline training anymore. So just to get an overview about how to become an ASPICE competent assessor 4.0 now, based on your starting position. So if you are a competent assessor 3.1 already, just visit the upgrade training, that's it. If you are a provisional assessor 3.1, also visit the upgrade training and then the competent assessor training in order to become a competent assessor for 4.0. And if you have no certification yet, you can visit either the standard lane or the combined lane to become a competent assessor. Yeah? And in these two situations, of course, you don't need the upgrade training, of course, yeah? Because you start from scratch here. Good. How to apply as a certification body? Very simple. Yeah, you must hold a valid certification as provisional, competent, or principal assessor. Then you just attend the upgrade training and submit the certificate of attendance to the corresponding certification body. That's it. Yeah, and next time on your ID card, the 4.0 tag will appear here on your ID card. Yeah, if you don't visit the upgrade training and do a recertification, then 3.1 will be shown here on your ID card. Yeah, it's not mandatory to ask for the ID card. If you look on the intacs webpage, you will always see if you passed the upgrade training or not. Yeah, but if you want to get this ID card, you can ask for it if you want to. Yeah, but then you have to pay an additional fee for it. For competent and principal assessor, it's mandatory to do the upgrade training. Yeah, latest after 3 years. Yeah, so it's a good advice to do it until your next recertification. For the extensions, it's even simpler. Yeah, you must hold a valid certification as an assessor, of course. Then you attend the model extension training and pass the exam successfully. And because the VDA is doing the exam with you, they already know if you passed or not. Yeah, so you don't have to submit anything. Yeah, the tag for this training will appear automatically next time on your assessor card. If you want to have an updated card before recertification, yeah, you can ask for it, but you have to pay a reduced fee. And the extensions are not subject for recertification. Yeah, you only have to pass the exam once, and it will be valid as long as you have a valid assessor certificate or license, let's say. Yeah, so it's not mandatory to do an assessment with machine learning in order to maintain the machine learning tag here. This would be too complicated. Okay, two short parts are left, yeah, regarding observations and observers. Yeah, back to this picture here. Maybe you have seen that 4 different observations are mandatory. Yeah, 2 observations to become a competent assessor. Yeah, one is during the training. So the trainer will document your behavior in the training, yeah, based on a template provided by intacs. And you have to go through an observation through an official assessment. So the lead assessor will fill in this observation report and will assign all the lead assessor tasks to you as an assessor candidate. So in the end, there will be 2 observations. Yeah. The third and the fourth one are for becoming an instructor. So an experienced instructor will observe the instructor candidates, yeah, in order to become an instructor for the provisional level, and the same for becoming instructor for the competent assessor training. But what about the criteria for these observers? Yeah, for the observed candidates, it's easy. Yeah, it's already defined, not what they have to fulfill. But the observers themselves, yeah, this is not really defined today. In the future, there will be definitions. Yeah, And it's important because the observers of these new candidates have the responsibility and authority to decide if this candidate will be able to perform VDA and intacs conformant assessments and trainings, knowing and respecting the intacs code of conduct. Hopefully you know this code of conduct, you signed it with your application form. Unfortunately, we made the experience with an intacs that not all assessors really know or work according to it. In the meantime, we got a lot of tickets from the community, from assessed parties, that assessors will not follow the rules, have a certain way of rating projects, and even with wrong statements, with wrong justifications, and so on. And this is an indicator for us that we have to strengthen the requirements for these observers. So who should be such an observer? Freshly certified competent assessors and instructors? Probably not. Competent assessors and instructors with a certain experience, for example, a minimum of 3 years of assessment experience. Or maybe even competent assessors are not allowed to do observations. Minimum is maybe to be a principal assessor. And for instructors, only instructors at competent level. This is my favorite, my personal one, let's say. But whatever is decided, will be decided in the near future, the following aspects should be respected. Observers should follow the objective rules and they should dare to reject inadequate candidates. Of course, there should be a fair chance for everybody to become a competent assessor, internally and externally. If you have to pay a lot of money in order to become a competent assessor for such an observer, then maybe this is not really fair between the different companies. If money for a large OEM is more or less peanuts, but for a small company, it's a lot. Something like that. And we were also discussing it's necessary to do some witness audits, for already certified assessors to double check if they are still following the rules. But of course, this is also expensive. Somebody has to pay for these witness auditors or assessors. In other domains, this is already the case. The current definition or decision is that for competent assessor candidates, another competent assessor is allowed to do the observation if this assessor at least led 5 assessments of category A and B. And the observer has to provide the necessary assessment logs to the certification body here. So not a freshly baked competent assessor, but somebody who already has assessment experience. For the instructors, for the provisional level instructor, at least 5 trainings were already given, provisional assessor trainings. And for competent assessor candidates, the observer must have given at least 2 intacs certified competent assessor trainings. The last 2 are more or less already decided. The first one is still in discussion here. That's why I call this slide proposal. It's not decided yet. Okay, finally, we have already 5 minutes to 5. Let's have a quick look on the current roadmap, what is already existing. So the upgrade course was released in April. You can already book a place for this 1-day training. The new Automotive SPICE for expert and provisional assessor training will be available from October this year on. We are currently doing the final compilation and the release for it. The new competent assessor training will be available in January next year. The hardware engineering training is already existing based on the previous intacs version, but the current training is certified by ECQA only. The update based on Automotive SPICE 4.0 is planned for August. And then also the VDA QMC will do the exam and certification with it. Machine learning planned for October this year. Cybersecurity extension is also available. An update of the PAM and the training is planned for the beginning of 2025. So there will be a version 2 of the cybersecurity PAM. And maybe you heard about the upcoming potential analysis PAM. Publication was already planned for July, but I think it's still not available. And also the planning is currently defined and will be available in the beginning of next year. So these are all the trainings with VDA QMC as a certification body. But beside automotive, we have also other PAMs and extensions certified by ECQA. Yeah, and you see for mechanical engineering, HR SPICE, data management, IT services, and test SPICE, the trainings are already available. For organization SPICE, for software automation, for medical SPICE, and for the new ISO 33061 software lifecycle upgrade, the trainings will be available until end of this year or beginning next year. Yeah. Most of the trainings will also be offered by us, by Process Fellows. Just have a look on our web page. Yeah, you can even decide if you want to try out the combined lane. We at least offer one combined training in October this year, just to try if anybody is interested in. Yeah, if not, then probably will not offer it, but will offer the two separated trainings. Okay, that's it from my side. Yeah, so sorry for using a couple of more minutes, but I think we still have the time for some questions if there are any. Back to Sebastian.
Okay, thank you, Bernhard, for the introduction of the new assessor education. In the Q&A section, there are currently no questions, if I'm correct, but maybe there are some questions from the participants. If there are some questions, just let us know. Until someone got an idea, if you got a question, just one question. Maybe there are some provisional assessors here. It's a topic that comes up all the time. And they want to get competent. How long is it possible to get the upgrade training, for example? Because you need it for the competent 4.0.
Right. Yeah. There is no limitation. Yeah. So for provisional assessors, it's not mandatory to visit the upgrade training. This is only mandatory for the lead assessors, so competent assessors and above. Yeah. And this is the reason why the upgrade training will be offered, I would say, at least for the next 3 years. Yeah, until the next certification period. Typically, it's a 3 years period. Yeah, and even then, after 3 years, currently it's not mandatory for provisional assessors. But we, as intacs and VDA, we expect that nearly all assessors who want to maintain the assessor status will visit the upgrade training. Yeah, it's like the guideline training, where in the meantime, not many people do apply anymore for the guideline training. Yeah, but training providers still offered it. It will be the same for the upgrade training, I think.
Okay, so we got an additional question to this topic. What will happen with provisional assessors without upgrade training?
Yeah, you still have a chance to do the recertification on your ID card. Yeah, then not 4.0 will appear. Let me quickly go back to this example here. Yeah, but then the tag will just show 3.1. Too many slides here. Yeah, so this ID card here will then just show provisional assessor 3.1, and that's it. That's the only difference. And you're still allowed to act as a co-assessor in 4.0 assessments. Yeah, as long as the lead assessor has the qualification, it doesn't matter.
Okay, did this answer your question? I think that was the question. Are there okay. As an existing provisional assessor trained in the old model, is there a possibility to get trained on the new material related to process improvement best practices as included in the newly created process expert?
Yeah, good question. Of course, it's possible and allowed to attend the complete expert training. Yeah, but of course, this is a 4-day training, and if you are only interested in the improvement part, probably there will be trainings be offered only dealing with the improvement part. Currently not defined by intacs, but that's a very good idea, just to offer in addition the improvement part maybe as a separate 1-day training. Yeah, but the training providers typically also provide trainings based on improvement processes and methods on their own. But that's a good feedback. Maybe it's a good idea to extract this part and offer it as a separate training.
Okay, so thank you, Bernhard, for your answers. We got one additional question. Is the upgrade training also a recertification?
No, it's not It's just an upgrade. So you only have to submit, as shown here on this slide, this certificate of attendance. Yeah? So once you visited it, you get this certificate, and you just have to send it to the VDA. Yeah, not as part of your recertification. Yeah, just send it immediately after you took part, and then next time 4.0 will appear. Yeah, but it does not belong to the certification procedure. Yeah, it's just a requirement, yeah, for the next recertification that you visit it once. Yeah, for competent assessors and above.
Okay, thank you, Bernhard, for the answers, for the information you gave to us all. If there are no further questions, I think we are done. Just in time, 3 minutes over the time. So I think that was a perfect timing. Thank you for all of you for participating, and I hope we see you in the next webinar.
Thanks also from my side. Hope to see you somewhere again. Bye-bye.
You are the pioneers. With your visions, your ideas, and your passion to make things better. And we are the ones who protect you from pitfalls. We are by your side whenever needed as a true fellow. Reliable, pragmatic, realistic. Together we make your product come alive. Imagine you enjoy improvement. Process Fellows.